right, welcome to Press Review. And in the studio, we already have a public affairs analyst to help us look at the stories, or rather, review the papers that we have here. Every day, we have stories making the headlines. We're talking about Charles Obi in the studio this morning with us. You're welcome to the studio, Charles.
Thank you very much. Yeah, good to have you in the studio. You're looking so happy this morning. You want to tell us a secret about?
It's a new week, so it's good to start a week optimistically. Be positive, go into the week. And Nigeria, we've seen a lot of things happen in Nigeria. There is hope.
All right.
So when you wake up positively.
All right, let's kickstart with the stories making headlines on the ABS website. Bishop Ibezim cautioned Christians against immorality, social vices. Police recruitment screening continues from today to Saturday in Awka. Ministerial list, Senate gives Buhari till Friday. Reverend Father Okoli urges Christians to uphold spirit of kindness. Anambra government initiates more measures to tackle girl-child school dropout. All right, let's begin with the first story there, making the headlines that Bishop Ibezim is cautioning Christians against immorality and social vices, which I believe has eaten deep into the fabric of our society.
Yeah, I respect Bishop Ibezim so much for his intellectual abilities. Okay, he's a very outstanding person. That's why he's excelling. Today, I think he's the Bishop of the Niger. He was elevated recently. He was elected. So that has been the issue. Everybody wants to talk about it. The vices, okay, amongst the youth, the restiveness in the society. And everybody, I think, when we channel our strength to this, when we try to, everybody start talking, people in positions should lend their voices to help ameliorate the decaying, okay, because tomorrow some of these people will face it like some of these people in authority today. This is the class of people that will take over. So if you don't start today to nurture them, election violence, menace here and there, when you trace them, you find out that they are traced to the youth. Youth is the heartbeat, okay? Most of the elections today, most of the politicians protect themselves with the youth, guard themselves with the youth. Okay, when they go out, they don't have the powers to do this, execute this thing. They plan it and give to the youth. Sometimes the youth even draw the programs and bring to them, give us the permission to take this up. And they go out.
One thing again is giving cautioning us. Then another thing is, practicing what you've been told to do, and who actually enforces them to act the right way.
Out of a million. Constant talking, constant preaching to these people begins to drop 1, 2, 3, 4. And once you remove 1 from 1 million, it's no longer 1 million. So a gradual process. The cleansing takes place. Okay? You don't say because they are not pulling out massively, we are not changing the youth massively, then let's quit talking. You have to keep talking. Everybody, even you too, using your platform, you keep talking. What we are doing today, we are talking. Right. And people are listening. Those who want to hear, and those who want to take actions, take up from there.
Let's keep hope alive. Now, let's move to the next story. Ministerial list. Senate gives Buhari till Friday to produce the list. What's your thoughts?
I don't want to say.
This smile of yours.
No. Actually, you see, our legislatives, they're trying. It's quite okay. But I think they should equally take, a look at the Constitution, where the Constitution has empowered the president to take actions as regards what comes up with the appointments. Okay. Yeah, when you talk about Section 147 of the 1999 Constitution, the president has been given the authority, okay, to constitute different departments around his government. Then at the Section 148 of the same Constitution, he is given the powers to appoint, to take his time and appoint, okay. What the Senate is doing, based on moral reasoning, is okay. We can't wait forever. This is what happened previously last time, and at the end, the president came up with something. I expected him to be quick this time, actually, because the delay is affecting. It has adverse effects on the society.
That's what I want to know. Are you
I'm not supporting. I'm not supporting the delay, but why I laughed is this whole thing happened previously. Everybody kept talking, so we don't want to go back to this again.
You also think that the Senate...
Buhari is a person that when you talk, they can't even box him into. He's a man of his. Sometimes when you keep talking, he just look at you and
do his thing, doing, right?
And then,
let's go to the first paper for the day, the Daily Sun newspapers. To see stories there making the headlines.
All right, the big one. Let's take the Daily Times. PDP presidency trade words over $1 billion ECA fund. With riders there, show how you spent $1 billion security fund. PDP challenges Buhari. You're under a socio-emotional distress presidency, taunts opposition party. Okay, and on top of that story, we've got expectations high as NPC begins 268th meeting today. Expert wants NPC to reduce interest rates amid inflation decline. Well, down there we have social media poses threat to security, says Africa intelligence chiefs. Falana Balaribe Musa won against ethnic profiling of criminals. Stop interfering in Edo, Odiege, Oyegun tells Oshomale. National Assembly will provide purposeful leadership. Lawan assures Big One. PDP presidency trade warrants over $1 billion ECA fund.
And let's see the picture in front of that paper. Women protesting with fake coffin there in Kogi State. They are protesting against the governor Yahaya Bello, and of course his second term bid.
Declaration. So let's speak it one by one. You want to talk about the Kogi?
Let's talk about maybe before I talk about the Kogi. Let me talk about the $1 billion for this year. When PDP begins to talk about spending and monitoring, becomes a monitoring spirit against the president, we are here, 16 years of leadership of the same PDP, talking today. A whole lot went by. A lot of money were declared missing. Okay, under the same PDP-led government, federal government, there were times we talk about 20 billion would just disappear from the NMPC and all that. So CBN, they kept. So today, it's just that when power shifts from you, you begin to chase the other person. It's not to justify. In Nigeria, I think we need to sanitize this circle, this leadership cartel. Sometimes I don't want to talk about revolution, what happened in Ghana and other places, but it's appalling that we keep hearing stuff like this. Our money is missing. Taxpayers' money generated.
So what do you feel should be done?
This government is a government that plays a priority on corruption, fighting corruption. We don't have to be talking about missing and trading words between a particular. They should be able to give account of whatever, so that you have evidence to fight the PDP. You don't trade words with them. Okay, you come out and say this money is clear on that. Okay, be transparent. That's just one thing about this thing. Be transparent, so that even when the PDP who were there for years and we saw what they did, we saw a whole today they're still tracing money taken abroad and all that. When they come hunting you, you show evidence, and Nigerians will support you. Right. Leadership about the lead.
Quickly, let's look at this. Social media poses threats.
Yeah, I want to talk about the coffin actually.
Okay.
In Kogi State, yeah. You see Yahaya Bello. Unfortunately, he's a youth like me. He's a young guy, actually, one of the youngest governors we had. Unfortunately, I don't want to use unfortunately, actually. We're going to re-election. We are going to the period of Kogi, heading for elections actually, and he's seeking re-election. These things, the protest has never been. I don't go with stuff like this. Sometimes you see youth or women coming out to demonstrate, especially when it's politically motivated, when it is called by.
You think so?
I think there's political undertone.
When they talk about unpaid salaries.
Because see,
Yeah,
if you followed what has happened in Kogi over the years, at least for the period Yahaya Bello has governed that state, I'm not trying to badmouth anybody, but it has not been pleasant to even the point that it looks as if his party is turning their back against him. And you actually think this is also political?
See, but this is political era of politics. They're going for the elections. Anything you see now, people say it's political motivated. What I think these women should do, I'm not a fan of Yahya Bello. They should go back to their work. They should go back to their homes and do the grassroots job. If they think Yahya Bello should not return, they should begin to mobilize, okay? Then and head for the election. That's why you don't stage protests so that you don't create unnecessary tension in the state. Okay, the protests will lead to tension.
All right. Let's move to the next paper now. The Nation newspaper. Let's see stories there making the headline. The big one that says laughing to Buhari, arrest Nigeria's slide to anarchy. What is strange is the new wave of criminally minded groups. What is again disappointing is the ease with which these criminals will leave our country should there be anarchy in the land. They have other places to return to. But Nigerians don't have another country apart from here. And up there we have 2 trillion naira project, airing contractors to face trial. Edo crisis, Oyego Oshomole clash. Gunmen kidnapped 4 Turkish in Kwara. Funke Olakunri for burial today. Chinese club upset with Igalo. Otedola picks Sadiq. Daba's medical bill. Falana Balaraba Musa cautioned against ethnic pro-living. Let's look at the big story there, laughing. To Buhari, arrest Nigeria's slide to anarchy. I think this is coming on the heels of recent so many insecurity in the country.
Yeah, my dear, you see, Nigeria, I think this arrest stuff, he was correct. You don't use power. You don't use power.
Especially when you talk
Okay.
about these people having a place to return, that we Nigerians don't have any other country but this.
See, they can go to, and feel free when this anarchy takes place. Okay, just like when we are talking about gathering IPOE protesters, then put them in truck and zoom away. You don't use such direct approach that you bring in, especially when the masses, the real people, the Nigerians are involved, not foreigners. We're not foreigners, okay? You sometimes they talk about using dialogue, bringing to table to talk. There are other means you can handle situations other than force or arrest. Because when it's light, like Alafi said, when it's light to the anarchy, a lot of people flee. Some people already, they have, easy access. Some of them have private jets to leave this place, to go to their places of abode.
All right, let's move to the Punch newspapers there.
About what happened in Kwara.
Okay. I think we'll still get to that.
I think it's in all the papers. Now let's look at the big one. The Punch newspaper stories making the big headlines there. Ruga controversy. Neck meats on livestock plant grazing reserves get 3.2 billion naira. Writers there are ranches not for Ruga. Ondo Ekiti Middlebelt wants governor. Well, on top of that story, Nigeria loses $25 billion yearly to illegal bunkering. Others, Amechi, you get that on page 32 of the Punch newspaper. Anarchy looms over siege laid to Yoruba land. Alafi tells Buhari. Dakolo alleges threat to life. Plans to abduct wife. Headsmen attack Ogun community. Pupils, teachers desert schools. Well, underneath there, presidency PDP clash over $1 billion ECA spending. Army quizzes general over stolen 400 million naira. Police arraign white whistleblower who accused Emefiele of 232 billion naira fraud. Minimum wage SGF to meet labor over negotiation breakdown. While Ajimobi pardoned lawyer jailed for killing husband. AG APC backed rep takeover of Edo Bauchi assemblies. Big one. Ruga controversy. It's been a long time. I mean, it's been making the headlines in every newspaper, even on TV. And now neck meats and livestock plants. Grazing gets 3.2 billion naira. Massive. Okay? That we want to know from you.
You see, when we talk about this, I thought they put this aside for Nigerians to have peace. You know, I read recently about the threat by Fulani, communities coming in to issue threats to people in the south that we should be prepared, and the people in the south are calling for their brothers in the north. Nigeria, I don't know when we'll stop this. This cattle railing, has been a private business. Okay, you have your cattle, you move it from place to place, you sell to people and make money. It's just like someone who has a shop in a main market on Onitsha, sells. Now I read about one when the people in main market, I think they wrote to whether a community in the north, they say, give us a land, we want to come and build. Okay, they said the federal government should approve in every state in the north a place where they will have their markets, Igbo market or something. This is because they've had clashes with them too, burning their shops in the north. So I don't know why the NEC should be going back to revisit this. Rather, they should arrest the people who issue threats to Nigerians.
Remember that time the statement came up, some people had to remind us again and again that it's suspension that they talked about and not total stoppage.
We know about that because they've gone further to say that they own the whole lands in Nigeria.
A lot of things have been said. In fact, I watched recently when Pastor Yodepo was reading what they wrote to him on television, the threat they wrote to him. You see that Nigeria we are gradually losing a grip of this country. Yesterday I was at St. John's in Dem Ani in Soka, where Bishop Chukuma, Archbishop Chukuma, His Grace, was talking about things happening in Nigeria. He was the one preaching. I made mention about this whole thing. He talked about this because he's always been a charismatic clergyman. Yeah, so he was so upset too, like I am today. And he called on the people, especially in the Igbo, to go back and rear their own. We have our cattle, we have our Igbo. Like the governor is already, encouraging people to begin. I think we have one already producing in Anambra State. Rear your cattle, produce them. Igbo is even sweeter. So he said we should stop eating, patronizing this, so that we know how to check these infiltrations. We know when they come. When you have supply, local supplies here, you wouldn't depend on those coming in, and you check their SSs.
All right, let's now move to the last but not the least paper for today, the Daily Sun newspapers, to see stories making the headlines there. The big story in front of the paper says GOC under house arrest over stolen 400 million naira to be moved to Abuja for further questioning. Army keeps mum. Up there we have insecurity. Alafin petitions Buhari with a rider there. Balarabe Musa Falana call for a rejig of security structure. Down here we have again Oyego Oshomole clash with riders there. APC chair involved in anti-party activities. That's coming from Oyego. I won't respond to Lacri, that's APC chair, talking back to Oyego there. Akwa Ibom Tribunal, INEC, NEC instructed me to cancel Babio's votes. That's coming from witness. Koza, police explain invitation of Timi Dakolo wife. All right, let's see. Over the weekend or before the weekend, there was this story that a huge sum of money was carted away by some security personnel. And now this is coming. DOC under house arrest. Let's take it.
There's a good move. That's the way to go. And it's quite unfortunate, too, that these things happen within the military, within our security operatives, people who are supposed to be...
And up to now, the army have not
who are supposed to
said
be,
anything.
moving, promoting, orderliness, the respect to rule of law. People who are the security agencies arresting people who are corrupt, and I'm the one being traced, being fingered for such. And they should, thank God they've arrested him and questioning him. They shouldn't bury this like the other cases, because a lot of people, like when you talk about frustrating those fighting insurgents in the north and other places, some of these guys say they complain sometimes that they don't have enough funds. And federal government say, we've released the funds to you. Sometimes it hangs within the hierarchies. Okay, and these are the guys, those who have pot bellies, the big boys there, take these monies and, make do with it. While the boys are in the field, lacking enough food, lacking...
Getting themselves killed. Because
when they lack enough...
they get killed, and you talked about money hanging, with a hierarchy. Nonya, don't you also think that this is something they probably deliberately do to keep the money coming, and security issues, keep happening?
That Nigerian state, just like you rightly said, a lot need to be done. A lot
Really?
need to be done.
I saw a story about the Koza pastor.
Okay,
and
that's
then,
part of this.
and the arrest of Timmy and his
Definitely.
wife.
It wasn't an arrest, an invitation.
An invitation,
as
and
explained here.
I saw him barefooted, and looking frustrated. I think the police should tread cautiously in this matter. Okay, this is not an issue for the police yet. Yeah, there are issues of image defamation and all that. Yes, I agree. But again, what if the lady was just saying what happened to her? Okay, so you don't go in. You have to be careful. You arrest him only when he has absconded from attending to the courts, because the matter I learned is already in the courts. So why bring in the police now? Okay, so let the court should be the best place to treat this matter. Allow the court to play the parts.
We have a lot of stories making rounds concerning this story, and there's so much more on air. But that's just about it. This is where we are coming to an end for this press review for now. Sorry, we don't have. Sorry.
Okay.
We can
and House of Reps.
We can do it
there.
outside.
Okay.
We don't have much time. We'd like to thank you so much for watching today's episode of press review, and we appreciate you so much, Mr. Charles Obi, for helping us
Charles
today.
Ifeanyi Obi.
All right, thank you very much, Ifeanyi. All right, thank you so much. And
well, I think it's actually amazing. Well, if you really want to get to know what's happening on the papers, you can go out, pick any of them, and of course read up and get to know what's happening. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Good Morning Anambra continues.